Good morning, everyone. My name is Courtney Cannon, and out of all of the amazing thousands of hats that I wear, one of the things that I do is I am a consultant and instructor, specifically on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So before we celebrate or recognize today's Transgender Remembrance Day, we wanted to make sure that we had basic information so we could understand why we're doing this today. So doing a little bit, just 5 minutes on what is gender identity. So the LGBTQ letters adopted T, transgender, in the early 2000s. And the letters fall under a very large amount of them. Lesbian, gay, bisexual was the original LGB. We adopted T for transgender, like I said, in the early 2000s. And it's because although transgender is not a sexual orientation, it fell into a group of marginalized individuals that needed to be part of a bigger process. And there's a bunch of other letters and names I'll be happy to discuss with you later on, but that's where the T came into the LGBTQ alphabet. So when we talk about gender identity, we fall under gender norms. A gender norm is a social construct. A social construct is something that exists because we say it does, like money or marriage or religion. There's rules developed by the social classes, by society, that creates a social construct. Under social construct are gender norms, what it's like to be a male and what it's like to be a female. Those are just things that we have sort of decided and agreed upon as society. They're not written down anywhere. Dogs and ducks and lizards don't care about what their gender norms are supposed to be. They just behave as they are. So under gender norms also falls gender identity, and under the gender binary. A gender binary is female all the way over here and male all the way on the other side, and then somewhere in the middle is the binary level of gender binary. And it's how society has identified men should act this certain way, rough and be firefighters and don't cry, and women should act this certain way of soft and nurses and wearing pink. That's all, again, a social construct, and it's within our gender binary and our gender norms. So falling under that is gender identity. Gender identity is what people in their heads think about themselves when it comes to gender. And when we are talking about that, you can't tell by looking at somebody. You don't know by the way that they were born, their sex assigned at birth. It's just how they have identified in their head, their gender identity. And that is, it can't be assumed by anything else. A gender identity is an individual choice. So, gender identities fall under male, masculine gender identity, female, feminine gender identity, and then non-binary. A non-binary gender identity is for anyone falling outside the binary, the true definition as we have it in a social construct of male or female. And there's like a zillion terms that fall under the non-binary little umbrella. For us, what's important and why I'm talking today is that dividing that is into two parts. Cis and trans. You are a cisgender gender identity if your brain in your head says, yeah, I'm female, and then your body parts are like, yep, I'm female, you're cisgender. You're cisgender in your head, your gender identity is male, you're male cisgender if your brain, again, says, yup, male, body parts, also male, you're cisgender. Because it means on the same side of. Transgender is everything else. So you can think to yourself right now, am I brain and body parts aligned, or does my brain have a different gender identity swirling around there? And that's it. And a lot of people get really angry when they're like, don't call me cisgender. Well, are you transgender? Because those are the only two options that we have here. It's just two. cis or trans. I'm not labeling you cis. That's what it is. So when we think a lot about transgender individuals, we think usually the first thought we have are people that were born with sex assigned at birth male, in their brain their gender identity is female, or sex assigned at birth female, and their gender identity in their head is male. That's what we normally think of. Society normally thinks of someone that's transgender, is that they were born basically in the wrong body, with the wrong body parts. But in reality, transgender falls anybody, non-binary, transgender, genderqueer, agender. There are tribes that have sort of gender fluid terms as well. So today, that's my little 101 lesson. We are recognizing those individuals, transgender individuals, that have struggled, that have had societal struggles, mental health struggles with themselves, that are transgender individuals, because their brain and their body are not are aligned in a way that society does not always accept them. And that's why we're here today. I'm happy to always answer questions. Anytime. I do this for a living, like I said, but I wanted to make sure that we had a basic 101 before we gave this amazing service that they've put together. So thank you.